All right, we are live. I don't know if my pills are going to kick in. I'm a little in between doses right now. We're going to talk about our worst Parkinson's symptoms. And I, of course, am J Mac, and I've been doing more live streams, honestly, because it's easier. I have less hard drive space. Uh, and it's easier. So I'll just wait for some people to show up here. I'm just trying to wait for my meds to kick in all the way. See who shows up. I'm looking forward to the warmer weather. It's coming. St. Louis, it's coming. There he is. Nice. What's up? What's up, Mike? Josie Mike? Did you get hit by a hell lot of snow? I bet you did. East Coast got hammered. Hammered. We're talking about worst Parkinson symptoms here today. Yeah. Oh, 18. No, 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 no bueno. No good. No, I don't like that at all. Hell no, I can't. No, I can't stand snow. So yeah, I just kind of went live here. Shit, got all these cords hanging out. Kind of trying to do some more live streams. Doing videos is fun, but honestly, when I do videos, I don't get to interact with people, so I like interacting with people. So we're talking about worst Parkinson's symptoms. So throw some out. Mine, honestly, at this point, it's got to be more the side effects of the medication. It's the dyskinesia that really gets to me. Not all the time. I mean, I can go for hours at a time without having it, but when it does hit, it's uncomfortable. Um, Wonder if Karen's going to show up. I haven't seen. I need to email her. She hasn't. I haven't heard from her in a while. Make sure she's okay. She used to show up at all my live streams, but gotta make sure she's okay. Also, the tremor has gotten really bad. When I was first diagnosed, I was told that I was non-tremor dominant. Now I am. Now, then when I actually went more recently, they told me I was tremor dominant. So I'm like, well, I guess the ever evolving beast of Parkinson's. Yeah. So feel free to share your worst symptoms. I don't. It could be something. Fatigue. Yeah, that'll rob your whole day of energy right there. That was one of the first things that really got to me before I was diagnosed. I was like, people are like, why are you so tired? Like I had one beer one night at a party, came down here and fell asleep over in there on that couch. People are like, what the hell, man? You're supposed to be party boy. Well, I was, but I was losing dopamine so fast I couldn't replace it. So that was yeah, fatigue. Fatigue is, and that's I don't want to say it's underreported, but I think it doesn't get as much attention as it should. Fatigue. Joanne, Australia, right? Tremor and cramping. Yep, I've got fair share of that. Right now I'm pretty steady. There's a little bit of a tremor, but Cinnamon really does knock my tremor out. Um, yep. So what time is it in Australia? It's got to be the middle of the night. Now I'm starting to have problems lifting my legs. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My hands shake so bad I can't tie my shoes at least when I'm off. What time is it in Australia, Joanne? It's got to be the middle of the night. But you said tremor and cramping. Yeah. Well, there you go. It's not too bad. 6:07. That's what time I got up this morning. So I've been up for about 8 hours or so. Tremor and cramping. Now, Joanne, does the Cinemet or whatever medicine you're taking, does it stop the cramping and the tremor? The cramping can be a side effect of the meds for me. It's part of the dyskinesia that I suffer from. Painful. So we got 4 people. So throw some other symptom. 3 people. Oh gosh, dang it! Lost one of them. Joanne, when were you diagnosed? If you don't mind me asking. It's been helps a fair bit. It's been over 13 years for me. I keep meaning to do a video about it. 2012. Yep, I was. That was when I was really getting hit hard with it. I was diagnosed January 2013. So, yep. Joanne, what were some of your first symptoms? What was the first thing that made you realize something was off? Mike, you can jump in here at any time. Anybody want? Yeah, Mike, you're too. I would be surprised. I'd be shocked if you had any dyskinesia as young as you, or as like early on as you are in your disease. Some people never really get it that bad. I didn't really have it. I had it in my legs pretty bad, but I didn't have it in the rest of my body for years now. It's kind of kicking in all over the place. But don't let me. It doesn't stop me from doing things at home. And I don't go out and do a lot of stuff. But yeah, I went out to there's this place in St. Louis called the Butterfly House, and it was for Valentine's Day, and it was a honeydew, and I was pretty stiff and shaky, but I made it about a half hour, 40 minutes. Yeah, it's honeydew. Yeah, like I talked on the last one, walking was really the last one of the things I got out of my car to go into Target up the street, and I'm like, why am I walking so hard? Why is it so hard to walk? And I didn't think Parkinson's was that walking was part of Parkinson's until I looked it up on WebMD, and I told my wife, I said, I have Parkinson's. Parkinson. She said, you don't have any Parkinson's. Yes, I did, unfortunately. Like Jeff Goldblum says in Jurassic Park, boy, I hate being right all the time. There's some movie trivia for you. No sense of smell, didn't swing my arm when walking, eventually bouncing leg. Yeah, that's they kept on asking me, "Can you smell? Can you smell? Can you smell?" And I'm like, I've got a very acute sense of smell, which I'm very thankful for. But like the disability doctor made me sniff this coffee grounds. He said, "What is this?" I said, "Coffee." It's like, but yeah, apparently brain injuries. There was this guy at work that had gotten beat a lot, beat up. I guess he got a lot of head injuries. He couldn't smell, which was I didn't put them two and two together. That smell is Yeah, that sucks, Mike. I remember going to the zoo and I knew I had PD at that point, and like it's all hilly. So we got a really cool zoo here in St. Louis, but it was like it felt like I was mountain climbing. Yeah, like you said, it's like every step was like a struggle. Yeah, Joanne, I they asked me to walk too, and my arm was not swinging that good. Yeah, that's people used to say why. Like I would do this thing where I would hold my arm like this, I'm trying to, and I would hold it up like this, like out like that. And I heard Brett Favre, the football player, he said that was one of his first symptoms that he would put his arm down and then 5 minutes later he realized his arm was back up. It's like your body wants to tense up, and that was one of the things that now when here's the thing when you walk if you're thinking about it sometimes you can make your arm swing and you can disguise your Parkinson's, but when you're really having a bad day you can't do it. I can I light arm swing, but I can't when my hand's trembling. There's no disguising it. All right, for the new people in, we're talking about worst Parkinson symptoms or most aggravating, most embarrassing. So you got four people in there. See some people coming in and out. Feel free to join the discussion. Yeah, put your hand in. Yeah, that's yeah. I had a trench coat, and I would put my hand in my sweatshirt like this, and so you can kind of disguise it. At your exercise class, you'll be off a step. Yeah, that's I used to skateboard for years, and I remember around the time I thought I was getting older, which makes sense. But I mean, I would skate ramps, and I I went third. I placed third place in a local contest. It wasn't any big deal. I mean, I was not a you know great skate. I was okay. I was okay, but I had this problem with my feet. I would go to up these ramps to jump to like a platform ramp, and to get a bunch of speed, and I'd go to jump, and my front leg, because you're supposed to kind of slide your front foot as to was the board pops up. My foot wouldn't move, and I would get halfway up, my foot would move a little bit, and then it would freeze up. So here I am sailing over the ramp, frozen, can't get my landing, can't bend my legs, and I have to kick the board out and just bail. It was like, and I was like, why that? I was like, I must be getting old. It was the nerves that I guess the signal was not getting from my brain to my foot. So here I'm going over the ramp skateboarding, and my leg would freeze up. That's scary, and it happened numerous times. I just thought maybe I'm just getting old, like I said, but it's definitely was Parkinson's, something much worse. And then But I look back and I always had slow feet, and it kind of makes me wonder if I had Parkinson's. If it was chewing on me a lot longer than I thought, because there's what's called flip tricks, where you kick the board and spin it around. I'm sure you've seen it, and I my feet were always too slow to do it. I couldn't. So I'm kind of thinking that Parkinson's affected me a lot longer than I really realized. Because I mean, as you know, when by the time you're yep, by the time you're diagnosed, it's I don't want to say too late, but your brain is already riddled with it. So that's whether you got this biomarker and they're trying to find disease modifying um, technologies or treatments. So once they see it, they can slow it down or stop it. But not to be too negative, I heard that crap for the last 13 years. That's yeah. But this is like a side note too. I was going to a chiropractor. I might have said this on the last live stream. I've said this numerous places, but she said you're dragging your foot, and I was like, "What? I'm dragging." She showed me the bottom of my boot, and yeah, sure enough, I had like this really abnormal wear pattern on one of my heels. And I said, "What causes that?" She, of course, um, chiropractor says your back's out of alignment. Everything's your back. And I'm not saying it's not, but it was way more was going on there. Um, Apathy, yeah, I got to tell you, that's what I was talking to one of my Parkinson's friends, and she was getting ready to do a video, and I said, I said when I do live videos, I tend to be more. It's like I'm more not interested, but when you set up something and just talk to the air, it can be difficult. But interacting can get that apathy out. I had a friend over this weekend, really nice guy, Fritz, if you're watching, and we were talking World War II, and he came in, and we just instantly like I hadn't seen him in a couple months. As soon as he came in, sat down, it was like we picked up a conversation we left off months ago, and it got me rolling, and that's one way I fight the apathy is socializing, whether it's coming down and talking to my friends on my YouTube channel or calling somebody. Mike, apathy is a bastard. It really is. And that leads into depression. It can kind of mask as depression or vice versa. Yeah, and I got to tell you, these guitars behind me inspire me, but I had them packed away for a long time because I was just so apathetic. Even though I can't play that much anymore, I put them away. I just ignored that I had them. So maybe just get something out that inspires you to do something. Whether it's I don't know, maybe it's to get out one of the Sudoku puzzles or read a book or something to make you exercise. I was up at 5:30 this morning and I got a 45-minute workout in before my wife even was out of bed. So that was me. So I'm probably going to go take a nap here in a little bit. Yeah, Joanne, where you live in Australia, is it really hot? Because I know it's got a reputation as having really hot weather, but I don't know if that's true or not. Um, I know Jersey's covered in snow right now. Oh, Tom Morello, yeah, he's a wizard, man. The closest thing I can think of for Tom Morello comparison would be he's like the next generation of Hendrix with all the noise and feedback that he does. Yeah, he's a great. He comes up with some crazy weird noises. I love his guitar playing and his just noise making. Those Rage Against the Machine albums have some awesome riffs on them. Very influenced by Sabbath too, if you listen to it through that prism. But yeah, Joanne. So how hot is it down there? And as a side note, does heat or cold fairly hot? Okay. Now, does the heat bother you more? Or does the cold bother you more? Because I tend to be like the cold bothers me more, not because I have trouble staying warm, but because it makes me stiff, and I love the be on the sun under the summer sun. Although my pale ass has to wear a lot of sunscreen. Same to you, Mike. Hot or cold? What is more difficult for you to deal with your Parkinson's? If you don't mind me asking. Anybody else, feel free to jump in. We got 6 people in here. Feel free to jump in with your most aggravating symptom or most embarrassing symptom. I know, here's a symptom that really bothers me when my face goes flat, when I can't smile because I might be having a great time. Chances are I probably am not, mid 40s. There you go. You're Celsius down there, right? Yeah. But yeah, I feel self conscious when I'm off my medicine because people think I'm mad or think I'm stoned or think I'm not having a good time. But it's like the face masking can be really. You like the cold better. Heat is worse. I worked like in a freezer for years, like a dairy freezer, and it was about 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and I just got used to it. But for years, I would be out in the sun skateboarding, and I gotta tell you, like sitting in the sun, or like maybe like the dappled sun when the heat comes in, makes my muscles feel good, and it feels good to sweat, like natural sweat. I don't know if you guys have sweating issues, but sometimes when I'm taking when my dyskinesia kicks in, I can get real sweaty. That's not a fun sweat. I like a sweat where I know I'm sweating because I'm actually working and doing things with my muscles. That's kind of my thing. Yeah, because your Joanne, because your face wasn't moving, or like maybe your face one side wasn't moving as well. Yeah, that's one of the things that I mean. If you look a lot at Michael J. Fox pictures, you'll see a lot of times he'll have this kind of frozen look on his face, but he's had it for 30 years, Parkinson's. Uh, but yeah, that's one of the things people used to say. Why are you so mad? Oh, so you don't like the cold? Okay, I can tolerate it. Like I was out, it was about 40 degrees out there. I went out to check on the dog, and I was walking around the yard, and I was in my shorts and t-shirt because I always wear shorts year round. And I think it's just I'm hot blooded, but I do like that summer sweat uh, when you're exercising. I don't like to sit and sweat, but I'm like when you go out, and maybe you're walking around the yard or walking around the park or something. I love that. Yeah, but yeah, Michael J. Fox had those pictures of his face, and people be like, I mean, yeah, it's just when you get diagnosed with this disease, you have no idea what you're in for. No idea. We got two more people there in here, so feel free, guys, jump in with your symptoms. This whole. I'm gonna try to go for an hour today. I don't know how long I'm gonna. Yeah, about 20 minutes in, 17 minutes in. So if I find the longer I stay, the more people show up, which is kind of I would think that the opposite would be true, but yeah. So last time I stayed for an hour and I had quite a few people come through. People drop in and say hi. If you don't want to talk about your symptoms, just say hi. Just let me know where you're hailing from. By the way, I watched a funny movie last night. I've seen it before. It was called Wanderlust. It's got Paul Rudd, Jennifer Aniston. So yeah, look it up. Primary doctor said she knows something weird looks. Some weird. Yeah, yeah. That's one of the things you can't really control. I mean, I did a video a while back where I showed a video of me before, like a year or so before I was diagnosed, and I wasn't blinking. And you could see me do intentional blinks during a conversation. And my wife even said, "Yeah, look." She's like, "When you blink, I can see you thinking about it before you blink." I wasn't blinking, which leads to are you on drugs? Did you smoke a doobie? And it's like, hell no, hell no. Yeah, you know, I know Robin Williams had Lewy body dementia ultimately, but people that I heard his doctor, one of his doctors, he was at a basketball game, and from across the court, I guess he looked so stiff and frozen faced that he said, from across the court, I could tell he had Parkinson's. This was, I guess, before he was diagnosed. What a cruel disease. What was I watching? I was watching something on Ozzy Osbourne, and his son Jack was talking about how that Ozzy fell, and that was really the onset of his severe Parkinson's because he couldn't exercise anymore. And that's unfortunately probably what's gonna it's gonna get us all eventually, but nobody gets out of life alive. So like you just gotta keep working out and exercising or just you keep moving. But I remember I broke my toe, I guess about 2 or 3 years ago, and it screwed me up for a while. My little toe, because it was dyskinetic. I kicked the stair, my toe broke. I couldn't exercise. I had to have this boot on my foot. It really took the wind out of my sails big time because I need to move in the morning. If I don't move, if I don't exercise, I get depressed. It's like I need that something. Oh, you're acting out in your dreams. That's I'll occasionally wake up screaming and punching the air, but I have yet to try to run. Yeah, that's wow, dude. That's it happened more before I was diagnosed. Like I would act out in my dreams, but after I got diagnosed and started taking Cinnamon, I noticed a lot less acting out in my dreams. Now maybe my wife would disagree, but yeah, unfortunately, that's one of the other things. Parkinson's will affect your sleep and your dreams. And I had really vivid dreams the other night that I was working my old job and I had said something on one of my podcasts or one of my videos, and everybody in the union like turned on me. It was really, really upsetting, but it seemed really real. I woke up and then fell back asleep, and I was right back in the same dream. I don't know if that's Parkinson's related, but I mean, it probably is. I mean, when your brain's screwed up as ours are, yeah, it tends to be always something. Yeah, but yeah, I've been. What's another symptom? Let's see. The tremor is it's almost painful. My arm gets so tight, but there's part of me that doesn't mind the tremor because at least like before I shook, people would think something was wrong with me and have no idea what it was. Now with a tremor, people go, "Oh, like Parkinson's." Like I was walking into the store the other day and I saw this guy. He had an Ozzy Osbourne T-shirt on, and I said, "I like your shirt." And I said, "I have Parkinson's," and yeah, he didn't even look he didn't even look shocked. And my hand was shaking. So there's some symptoms I really don't mind. The visible ones like shaking, although it's embarrassing and kind of debilitating. That's easier than the dyskinesia. I got to tell you, when I'm really wiggly, it's painful, and you're in public and you're hitting your shins on stuff. Yeah, I mean that's what I thought. I thought everyone with Parkinson's had a tremor, and I quickly realized that. I mean, I had a slight one, but they were thinking more it was MS because of my age, and because it was like I have a friend with MS, and they have a slight tremor, but you don't really know you don't really differentiate between like a caffeine tremor at first or a Parkinson's tremor unless it gets really bad, and mine's pretty bad right now. Not at the moment, but when I'm off my medicine. But yeah, Parkinson's. Yeah, what you find is that Parkinson's is a. Oh yes, yes, Mike. Yeah, I had a guy at work. I think I mentioned this on the last video. I had a guy at work that died. His name was Tony. I won't say his last name. And he started acting squirrely as hell. And I was like, "What?" He was like, "Just being a butthole." And he actually hit somebody's car in the parking lot at work in the morning and refused to like. He drove off and like said it was the other guy's fault. Just total butthole behavior. Well, it ended up he had ALS, and I mean, at some point, I guess in the near future, uh, I don't know if he was diagnosed yet, but he showed up at work at weird times, like when he was off, and he tried to clock in, and some people had to restrain him, and they said when they grabbed him, his body felt like jello. The muscle was just there was no tone to it at all. It was like, yeah, ALS, yeah, that's and the weird thing was I remember reading a book about Lou Gehrig when I was like 14 or 15, and that's they talked about him like stumbling when he would go to get ground balls and like just not being able to get around on the baseball that much. And I was like, that's me. Well, thankfully it wasn't me. I got something at least. It's better. It's not it's not great. Not great. Yeah, I mean, the Lou Gehrig story is a really tragic story. I mean, and the fact that it's been how many years and they still haven't, to my knowledge, they still don't have any treatments. I could be wrong, but there's nothing that slows it or stops it. And it's just the human nervous system is so complicated. It's like more complicated than the circuit board on a computer. And sometimes I wonder if doctors will ever figure it out. I guess at this point we could turn AI loose on it, but I that don't get me started on AI. I'm not real happy with that shit. Um, feel like it's taking over everything, but that's yeah. But the Lou Gehrig story is rough. I remember, yeah, I remember. I think I saw the speech that he gave. I also read the speech that he gave when he said. I think he said I'm the luckiest man in the world. I could be wrong about that. Just a horrific, horrific story. And knowing that I knew a guy that had ALS was like it brought it home. Like, holy crap, ALS is a thing, and people get it, and I could get it, and thankfully I didn't. Anybody have any false diagnosis? Were you diagnosed with something? Yep, I agree. I agree, Mike. Is there anything where you misdiagnosed? Did anybody here like get a diagnosis of something other than Parkinson's and then find out it was Parkinson's? I was told at first that I had thoracic outlet syndrome, which is like I think it's like a sports injury. It's like some kind of weird nerve thing. And I was like, oh great, I got thoracic outlet syndrome, but that wasn't to be. I mean, it's I had no, I had nailed I had narrowed it down to between Parkinson's and MS. I just from before not knowing anything, I just read it on WebMD, and I got to tell you, I leaned more to Parkinson's because of the stiffness. MS seemed Yeah, I had shoulder trouble. I was driving a forklift, and I think I talked about this before. I've talked about it in numerous places, and my shoulder would lock up when I was turning the steering wheel, and so I went to the doctor. Said my shoulder hurts, and that's why I think I got the thoracic outlet syndrome, which to my knowledge, I think there's not much treatment for. I think the Cardinals had a pitcher named Mark Mulder years ago. I think he had thoracic. I could be wrong, but yeah, it ruined his career. He couldn't pitch anymore after that. I know you're a baseball guy. You might remember Mark Mulder. I think he came from the Oakland A's, which, yeah. So, yeah, any misdiagnosis? I know we got 7 people in here. Speak up, people. No, we got 4. Oh, I made them disappear. People just drop in and out. That's fine. Yeah, and then, of course, my chiropractor. He's still playing, right? Zach Wheeler? I think he is. But I think if I remember correctly, it's affected his career pretty severely. My back hurts right now because I'm sitting on this little yep, sitting on it's like a little like a ottoman, and I got like a blanket on it, so moving around a bit, not just because dyskinesia, but my back hurts. I'm kind of trying to keep it loose, keep it loose. Maybe if I lean back, there you go. You lean back on my shoulder like that. Yeah, I mean, I've had numerous people contact me that have been misdiagnosed for years sometimes, and it's got to be so frustrating, so frustrating. Yeah, I mean, you're right, Joanne. I think the thing is like joints can act up because of stiffness, and I mean, obviously, if it's emotion, you move, you do a lot. Parkinson's would be the last thing you would think of. You think of arthritis or like bone spurs or some kind of neurological like pinched nerve or something. Um, yeah, that's when they said thoracic outlet, and then they wanted to send me to pain management. I was like, this something is not right. It's like I sure I'm in pain, but it's not blinding pain. It's just dull, kind of never goes away stiffness pain. And I went on FMLA twice from my job trying to figure out what was wrong. And I came back after the first time, and I mean, I honestly, I guess they could have. Nice, nice, Mike. I guess technically they could have fired me because I came back, and I just well, they probably couldn't have fired me. I said it was thoracic outlet syndrome, and they said they rested it and gave me some steroids, and I came back and I felt good till the 5 minutes after I got on that forklift, started turning that steering wheel. I was like, oh my god, oh my god. And I would refuse to take the better jobs on forklifts, and I would take the jobs on foot picking cases because I was moving around and I could deal with the stiffness on the ground by being physical. And people were like, "What's wrong with you? Why won't you take the good job?" I'm like, "I can't do it." And they're like, "What? Why?" I was like, "Because my shoulder's stiff." And they're like, "Throwing cases is easier." I'm like, "Honestly, it is. It is easier for me to throw cases." But yeah, I don't like silence. I like silence when I'm by myself, but when I'm online, I like to keep the conversation flowing. So, Joanne, do you get you probably don't get snow down in Australia, do you? Where it's we got hit pretty hard here in the Midwest a couple months back, and then Mike's currently buried. I'm guessing. So Mike, with the running dream, did you actually get out of bed and start running, or did you just like fall out of bed while you thought you were running? This it's a really weird thing to do. If you don't mind me asking. Just for the newbies, we're talking about worst Parkinson symptoms or side effects of the meds. You can whatever or something you deal with that you hate the most. Oh, in the Alps, yeah, that's what I thought. Only in the mountains, yeah. Yeah, like I said, fortunately, Mike. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm laughing. It's not funny, but running in bed, that's terrible. And then you fell out of bed. That's yeah, that's bad. And you remembered the dream. So you woke up out of your dream and you remembered it. That's crazy. Yeah, Joanne, the Midwest, the Midwest of the United States. By the way, my apologies, and I'm not gonna get political here, but I'm just gonna say what's currently going on in the United States and some of this headline news everywhere I go. I see all this embarrassment. It's my apologies, my apologies. Not that does any good, but it's like it's a weird time being American. I'll just leave it at that. A weird time being American. We're not all like you know. Well, I won't say his name, but we're not all like that guy. We're not. Trust me, we're not. In fact, I think the vast majority of people aren't. But I'll shut up about that because I don't want to get hate mail. Shut up talking about politics. Keep your mouth shut. Talking about Parkinson's. So yeah, Pierce Parkinson. Yeah, Mike, South Jersey. Yeah, agrees. Yeah, I mean it's just a weird time to be an American. It's just I mean the hockey team won, which was awesome, and I respect the hell out of like our veterans and stuff. But it's just yeah, for Canadian, I know I got a lot of Canadian viewers and listeners or watchers, and some people from Australia and New Zealand, and some from Germany. It's like in England, it's just like please don't judge all of us based on uh, one individual. Probably more than one. It is more than one, but yeah, just say one. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, it's going to affect research. I did a video a while back about cutting Parkinson's research and how ass backwards it was. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Mike. And that's see, I don't really like to talk anything other than movies and Parkinson's on this channel, but sometimes I think something needs to be said, at least said to say like to like my non-American listeners. Uh, Hopefully things will change, but this we most of America is not happy with what's going on right now. I think it's I mean yeah every poll I've ever seen, especially lately, people are not happy, and I feel like we should be the torchbearer for freedom and democracy and you know we're supposed to be the good guys, and sometimes I wonder now. Yeah, I know it's not always cut and dry, but sometimes I wonder um, what side we're perceived to be on at this point. Yeah, I mean, that's fake news. We're living in an age where people can say something and have scientific proof, and like these. I mean, I hope we don't have any flat earthers watching, but if I do, y'all need to check yourself. That's some horseshit from way back, and yeah, like it's science. I mean, don't even get me started. Yeah, I got into a flat Earth discussion, and I found myself very aggravated that I was even trying to like have a conversation with it about it because just it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. But we live in an age now, and it's getting worse with AI, where we can say, "Well, you can't believe what you see." But science is science, yeah, and we need scientists to help us with this Parkinson's thing. And yeah, Joanne, it's. I mean, I feel like half the world leaders are taking some kind of crazy pill medication, and it's psychotic what's going on. I mean, like every time I turn on the news, it's like, damn it, how much worse could it be? And you know that there was a lot of wild theories about um some stuff, and I'm not gonna mention his name, but he starts with an E, and this ring of things that's been going on, and now it's turning out a lot of this wild crap was true, and it's just like, no, is that a movie? Facing the Crowd? But yeah, so it seems like we're living in an age. I'll look it up. Seems like we're living in a really weird age, and it's when we should be on the cutting edge of technology to solve and cure hunger and disease. Like we're it's doing the exact opposite. I'm a big World War II. I don't know, it's not fan buff, whatever you call it. And I Andy Griffith, I like him. I just feel like have we learned nothing? Have we learned nothing? I'm not trying to say anybody's a Nazi or anything like that. I'm just saying the same sins of our fathers or our the mistakes of the past, at least to some extent, are being repeated. And I remember I knew this old Indian guy, like from India, and he was a Muslim, but he was so upset after 9/11. He said I thought, because he was an older guy. He said I thought by the year 2000 we would have stopped fighting and killing each other. This was a guy that was a Muslim, and that really gave me a little insight into how the caricatures of some people get painted with aren't always true. And it's like because he was so devastated after 9/11, just devastated, just like when will we learn? Apparently, we don't learn. I mean, look what's going on in Ukraine and Russia. I mean, it's insane. It's insane. Man's inhumanity to man is insane. So hopefully, I'm not depressing anybody. We've been going for 38 minutes. I'm going to stay on for, yeah. I keep hoping we have people coming in and out, but maybe, like I said, I should start singing or taking off some clothes or something. Just kidding. Not going to do that. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. George Bush. Not going to do it. So my I've got a baby pit bull, not baby, but she's 2 years old, and she's upstairs currently throwing a fit because I didn't take her out this morning. It's too cold. I got In the morning I try to get my workouts in early because I generally feel the best right when I get out of bed. If I sleep, there's this it's like if I sleep in, you'd think I would be more rested, but exactly the opposite happens. I sleep in, and my legs are cramping up. I sleep in and I feel worse. So when I get up in the morning, I try to exercise. But she's in bed. She doesn't get out of bed until my wife gets out of bed. and then she pouts when I don't play with her. Maybe I should stop talking. Maybe people are like, "Whoa, this dude don't stop." Ain't no party like a J-Mac party because a J-Mac party don't stop. By the way, like that Tom Selleck back there, I've talked about it before. A friend gave it to me. I don't know why she gave it to me. She said it seemed like a bit of Americana. 2 years old. She's not really a puppy anymore, but she still acts like a puppy. And like she pouts, like I said, she's upstairs pouting because I exercised and I didn't play with her instead. Yeah. But let me ask you two this, or anybody else that's listening. Does it help you to get up earlier, or does sleeping in actually recharge you? Because that's one of the first things I started noticing was that no matter how long I slept, I would feel worse and worse. I got to get up and start moving, just have to. So I guess it's necessary. So yeah, I mean, is that the same for you guys? Joanne, you've been at it a little longer than me. Mike is obviously new to this whole thing. Um, yeah. So what I mean, get up earlier. Yeah, that's. I mean, when oh yeah, that's I used to have to get up so early, and I hated it because I hated every day I had to work. I literally hated both my jobs that I had. But getting up early and not having to go to work and just getting exercise in, and I cooked myself a couple of eggs, and it's there's that peace in the house where like the day still hasn't started yet, hasn't officially started yet. Yeah, I agree, Mike. I mean, I went to bed at 11 o'clock last night. And that was pretty late. I remember just being able to stay up forever. But here's the thing: we have to go to bed when our medicine, you know, our medicine dictates a lot of what I do. Like, people are over, and sometimes I just gotta go. It's like, sorry, it's 9:30. My body's shutting down. I just ate food. My medicine ain't gonna work. Sometimes you get lucky, and it's 11:30. I remember I used to stay up and smoke a little bit of the devil's lettuce back when I did that, and just stay up till 2 o'clock in the morning watching movies. This was also my kid was a baby then, so we had to kind of work in shifts. Or I mean, I used to drink Jack and Coke, but I don't do that. I just drink wine now. But yeah, I drink my drink and watch TV all night. But I mean, I know both you guys are a little bit older than me, but I'm going to be 50. Yep, this thing we got to plan everything with Parkinson's. Like, there's no more spontaneity. There's no more. Let's do this now. You got to wait. Where I got to make sure my meds are working. Got to bring backup meds. Got to bring some water. Got to bring some crackers. Sometimes you got to bring a cane or a wheelchair, depending on how far along you are. I see Michael J. Fox uses like a transport chair. Let me tell you, them things are not comfortable. I got one, but frankly, nothing is comfortable when you're dyskinetic or when you're having dystonia. Sounds like my wife is home. All right, guys, I'm gonna go upstairs and talk to my wife. Need to get some food in my stomach. Speaking of eating, been great talking with Ann and Mike. Uh, to all the other people that dropped in and didn't say anything. I love you all, uh, and I hope you enjoyed the show. And I would love it if you would ask questions next time. All right, guys, take it easy.